Far Cry 5 in 2024. What has changed? How well can the game keep up with the current games, and should you play Far Cry 5 in 2024? I recently finished the game and can therefore give a good perspective on how the game performs in 2024. Please keep in mind that the video is not a deep dive and is kinda more like a fresh impression video after playing through the game. I came to the Far Cry series relatively late as a gamer and have only played Far Cry 5 and 6 on PC so far. I know that according to the community, the best parts are the old Far Cry games, so I'll probably have a look at those too. So, I'm still relatively new to the Far Cry business and I will give you my perspective on Far Cry 5 right now. Far Cry 5 was released in 2018, was the fifth main part of the Far Cry series from Ubisoft. Ubisoft Montreal developed the title mainly. The game has a Metacritic score of 81 and is so rated better than the latest Far Cry 6 with a score of 73. If you are not yet familiar with the Far Cry series from Ubisoft, it is mostly a single player shooter with an open world. You can play crazy weapons, drive and fly many different vehicles and are actually in a huge world in which you can eliminate your opponents as much as you like. And that's also the greatest strength of Far Cry games in my eyes. Backseat gaming with cool weapons and very good graphics and with the mission of liberating the population from various dangers. Far Cry 5 is set in modern day America, more precisely in the fictitious Hope County in Montana, and offers a country lifestyle setting. You fight as an American citizen against a Christian sect which is led by the main antagonist Joseph Seed. He calls himself the Father. In short, Joseph Seed talks the whole time about the imminent extinction of mankind and that he was chosen by God to protect the people from it. To this end, he founded Project Eden and is now trying to recruit new members through suppression. As a deputy sheriff and the Hope Country residents group, you must liberate the world from Joseph Seed's cult in Far Cry 5 and restore normal everyday life for the population. To do this, you must liberate the Holland Valley area first, which is under control of John Seed, Joseph's brother. You must also liberate Henbed River. This area is under the control of Joseph's sister, Faith Seed. The last region you have to free from the sect is Whitetail Mountains, which is under the control of Jacob Seed. You will encounter the respective antagonists several times during your playtime and quickly gain an impression of what makes the sect tick. In my opinion, the antagonists are generally exciting opponents. Not only Joseph but also the rest of the Seed family have good dialogue and I like them as antagonists. Of course, Joseph Seed is the most exciting because he's the main antagonist and also has the best dialogue. In my opinion, he is definitely a better character than President Castillo in Far Cry 6 due to his disturbed and quiet dialogues. Well, it wasn't really difficult to be better than the El Presidente from Far Cry 6, to be fair. At the end of the game, after you have freed the 3 regions from the sect, you will meet Joseph Seed one last time with an interesting ending, which on the one hand side was interesting, but on the other hand leaves a lot open and may not be considered fulfilling for the player. I liked rather than disliked the ending as it was not predictable. In this video I will not go into detail about the ending of the game due to spoilers. You have a lot of cool weapons in Far Cry 5 that are useful. The gunplay feels good, but it's annoying at the beginning that you don't see any hit markers in the game. Of course Ubisoft wanted to give you the feeling of being completely immersed in the world as you don't get any hit markers in real life, but I'm more of a fan of seeing hit markers in video games and therefore knowing whether you have hit something or not. This was often difficult to recognize as opponents were often further away, so you couldn't see it. Nevertheless, it was a cool new experience for me, as I have hardly ever played a shooter without hit markers before. The enemies in Far Cry 5 are also a nice change from the normal gameplay and are always part of new Far Cry games. You can also take some enemies with you into battle as companions during the course of the game. The graphics in Far Cry 5 are based on the Dunia engine too. The game still looks great, especially when you consider the game is now almost 6 years old. In general, the anti-aliasing might not have been implemented perfectly, but modern games have many more tools such as Nvidia DLSS3 or DLAA to implement such things better. Nevertheless, not only the world as a whole, but also individual textures looks really great and is fun to play in the open world. The world is very reminiscent of a country game and offers visual insights into the world of Far Cry. As far as the graphics are concerned, the game definitely deserves the name Far Cry, and does not disappoint the fans. The character models are also well done. Of course, you can see a high level of detail in the main characters, but despite this, even normal NPCs look really good for 2018 and can keep up with current games. The game is well optimized and easy to play. In general, everything feels smooth in terms of gameplay and gunplay. You as the protagonist, the deputy, can't speak and has no dialogue. Personally, I'm not a fan of this, as you don't really build up a bond with your character. I would have liked it better if Ubisoft had given us synchro for our character, preferably with dialogue options. Even if not much has been lost and you can tolerate the whole thing with one eye closed, I think it would be better to have dialogue as the protagonist. Otherwise, you can easily customize your character at the start of the game, so don't expect a game in which you build up a deep bond with your character with lots of customization options. Far Cry 5 has a playtime of around 20 to 25 hours. Of course, you have on one side your story missions from the 3 areas of the game, as well as some side missions. By completing these, you earn points and can force the respective members of the Seed family to meet up over time. As usual for a Far Cry game, there are of course many side missions and small activities such as races and flying, as well as an arcade mode, which I did not test in detail during my time in Far Cry 5. I think we get over 50 hours out of the game of playtime with all the activities you can do in the game. I really enjoyed Far Cry 5. In general, Far Cry games have the touch that you switch off your brain and relax and smash a few enemies with different weapons. The story isn't that great compared to other games, and the events are very repetitive like Ubisoft did with their games in the past. I wouldn't recommend paying the full price for this game unless you are a Far Cry hardcore fanatic. I picked up the game for around 10 euros in the sale and it was definitely worth it. Great graphics with strong gunplay and a relatively easy to understand story. Therefore, in my opinion, a successful Far Cry title. Joseph Seed also makes a great antagonist to my taste and therefore stands up well in the ranking of Far Cry antagonists over time. This is a really important factor for a game like Far Cry. Far Cry 5 on the PC is still fun in 2024 and is particularly good if you're looking for a simple first-person shooter, in which you are the hero and have to fight against a whole sect. However, the game wouldn't be worth 60 euros for me and I recommend only picking it up on sale. But even 6 years after its release, this is no longer a problem and you will often have the opportunity to buy the game cheap. I enjoyed my time in Far Cry 5 and I'm looking forward what Ubisoft is doing in the future with more Far Cry games to come. Thanks for watching today's video. Did you play Far Cry 5? If yes, did you enjoy it? I'm very interested to see your opinion about the game in the comment section below. If you liked today's video about Far Cry 5, please consider subscribing to the channel to never miss new videos to open world games and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Thanks for watching and I will see you guys in the next video.